Today I am going to show you how, just with a few things that you may already have at home, you can create some holiday decor for your outside planters, even for your indoor stuff. So today I'm going to show you a couple of them, and hopefully you can get creative and just have fun outside. I am going to start by showing you how I am going to turn these hydrangeas into a complement for really any planter outside. And it's amazing to me how many people have this right now in their garden and they don't know that they can use it, or they haven't thought about using them for holiday decor. And this is not something that I came up with. This is not my idea. Using hydrangeas for holiday decor has been used for forever. So you just have to be creative and just kind of decide what decor you're doing. There are tons of ideas on YouTube, on Pinterest, on how to turn hydrangeas for holiday decor, and I have plenty of hydrangeas. I just went into my hydrangea hedge where my limelight hydrangeas are, and I just grabbed a few of these blooms. I have plenty to choose from. I don't trim my hydrangeas in the fall. I definitely let them out just like they are for the winter season, because I love how they look when they are covered in snow. So just grabbing a few of these for doing some crafts is super easy. Let me bring you a little bit close to show you what I am going to have. So here are the things that I'm going to be using. I am going to be using some spray paint. I am using a combination of metallic gold, and this one is actually glitter, and I don't know why this stuff is coming off of the lid, but these are just two that I found at my local hardware store. Right now they have tons of choices. They have all the shades you can think of in metallic or glitter or any design that you want to think of. Have fun with it. You can definitely combine one or two spray paints to get some sort of style that you can come up with. Just have fun with it. These guys, I normally just use some sort of metallic and something shiny. I don't know that I really see the difference with this one. I'll show you in a minute, but you'll see what I mean. And also, this one is a lot of fun. I actually didn't know about this until recently. This is just fake snow. I think that they use this mostly for Christmas trees indoors, for flocking. I think that's what the term that they use. But this is just basically like white powder, white fake snow, and you're just going to use a bottle of spray. This is just water. Now, ideally, if I would have been organized a few months ago, I would have caught some of the blooms when they were at their peak, when they were nice and beautiful and turning just a little bit of pink, to save them, to save that original color. But I didn't think about it, and I waited obviously way too long. My hydrangea blooms are now brown, and that's okay. I personally do not mind it. But for next year, if you want to do this and you want to save your white beautiful hydrangeas, even your green hydrangeas, you can definitely just cut a bunch of them and dry them inside, and you can save them for your holiday decor that way. But for me, this color is just perfect. So I'm going to prep my space. So first, I'm going to make sure that I have removed all of the leaves from my hydrangeas that I want to use. I want to make sure that they're dry. I definitely don't want to harvest, or I don't want to cut these blooms when it just rained or in the morning when they're super wet. I do want to make sure that they are ready for me to spray paint. And like I said, you can use really a combination of any paint. You can use any dark red color, dark green, silver, gold. This is where really you can get creative. And you can already tell just little by little how the blooms just take on a different look. Now this is just one coating of the gold spray paint that I have here. I did get another kind. This is supposed to be a glitter, but I don't see a huge difference when I apply this. And maybe it is because I am applying it on a bold color. Maybe if I was applying it on a dark color, it would be different. But maybe you can see it. It's really, really just super glittery. Isn't that so pretty? Now I am new to using this flocking stuff. And to be honest, I'm not really sure how these are going to come up, but why not? Now you are supposed to use some sort of sifter to apply the fake snow evenly. And how you're going to do that is you're just going to spray your blooms or whatever it is that you want to flock with water. And definitely do this where you know it will get messy. Okay, it's not bad, not bad. This is definitely overkill for this guy. I think that I need to make something a little bit less thick. Oh, never mind. Here's how the two look like. And hopefully you can really tell the gold, the metallic gold against the white. But in a container with some evergreens and some reds or even in some gold ornaments, this would just look amazing, in my opinion. Okay, the next piece that I am going to show you for holiday decor, specifically for outdoor holiday decor, is one that I made in 2020, and it was amazing. The piece that I actually used was this kind of like a faux obelisk that I made, and I used it in my outdoor containers, the ones that I'm showing you here, and they did amazing. They came out so well that I decided to make a couple more sets. Now this was not my idea. This was definitely not my idea originally. I saw Laura from Garden Answer do this years ago. Actually, she did it a couple of years before 2020, and it was a super easy to follow tutorial, so I made my own. And honestly, I did not think that those things were going to be lasting for quite a few seasons. I thought one season will probably be good, but I used them in 2020. I used them in 2021, 22, and I don't believe that I used them in 2023 just because I didn't get prepared and I didn't have the stuff ready. And I was going to use them for this year, but that's when they finally fell apart. Things were like really just kind of just falling apart, breaking everywhere, and I decided I just need to make another set because they were so easy to make and they were so inexpensive. The pieces that you need are things that you really can find at your local craft store. Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby. I found mine at Hobby Lobby, and these are 23-inch embroidery hoops. And you need two sets. Decide what size you're going to need, whether if it's for a big container like the ones that I'm going to be using here, or you can just get smaller 10, 12-inch sizes for something smaller. And I do have to say, back in 2020, when I made this for myself, there was really no place online or anywhere local where I could find the real things, something made from metal or iron. There was nowhere where I could find this. There was one place where I found a couple, but they were really out of my budget. They were about $400 or $500 for a 15-inch size. Definitely not in my budget. So I decided to make my own, like I said, and it was super easy. And nowadays, I did find some on Amazon out of all places. And I'm actually going to do an unboxing at the end so that you can kind of compare the two. And then you can decide if you just want to spend a little bit of money or if you want to spend just a little bit more and have something already, you know, made for you. But if you were making a bunch of these for a few containers, I think it's definitely worth just preparing, getting some things. I found these things on sale. I don't think they're really that hard to make. Let's start. The things that you're going to need, like I said, is your two sets of hoops. So you will have 4 circles right here. These are 23-inch, and I got these from Hobby Lobby. You're going to need some of these epoxy glue. You're going to need paint to paint your final piece, and this is also where you can get creative. I am going to paint mine black because that will go well with all of what I'm doing, but you can use gold, you can use blue, you can use really any color that you wish to use. And I'm just going to use a little container for mixing the glue. Okay, so I'm going to start by undoing the hoops because I really don't need the hardware. Okay, so I separated, this is just one set of hoops. I separated them. I kind of tie the bottom piece so it's nice and solid with the hardware that it came with. And now I'm going to make my first set together. So for that, I am going to be using glue. I am going to be using glue at the bottom, and that's really where it will set. And I am not really worried for the top piece because I am going to be using a decorative screw up here to hold the whole piece together once it's done. So I'm just going to get some of the epoxy glue. I am going to get this set. We'll give it a few minutes before we start with the second set. Now this part is definitely the one that it takes the most because you have to wait a couple of minutes holding the 2 pieces in place until the glue sets. While the other piece is setting, I am just going to take the other set of hoops apart. And depending on the kind of hoops that you get, depending where you get them, some of them have a screw-like thing here to keep the one open or loose. I'm just going to take advantage of that to just keep it nice and tight. And then I am going to add 1 hoop to my existing piece at the time with a little bit of the glue. Now, right now, before the glue completely sets in, I am just position them to sort of be even, so they're not just pushing on one side more. And I think that looks pretty good to me. If you are thinking about this piece over here sticking out to the side, once you have them in containers, you won't even see that. So I am so not worried about that right now. Okay, and the bottom looks pretty good, but before it sets in, I did mention that I am going to put a screw right here on the top just for like finishing the piece. And I do want to make sure that every single hoop lines up together so that when I make the hole right here, they all go through it. That makes sense. So obviously, if you had an extra set of hands helping you do this, it will be very helpful. And if it wasn't like 45 degrees outside, it will be better, but it is what it is. So I am just going to hold it here in place for a few minutes, making sure that this thing sets in. And when it's nice and dry, I'll show you what's next. This piece is pretty solid. I had to bring it inside because I definitely think that with being so cold outside, the epoxy is taking longer than 5 minutes. I am using 2 pieces of just this wood. I cover my table because I'm going to do some painting, and I'm using this to use so that I can hold a piece together without falling apart. Okay, right there, it's not going anywhere. I am going to spray paint it black. You can spray paint it any color that you wish, really. I suppose that you could pre-paint the pieces, the hoops, before you put them together, as long as you come up with this finished look or the finished look that you want at the end. This is the piece that I am going to be putting on top of the obelisk that I am making. And this is the part that is just going to connect on top. I got this at Hobby Lobby. I think this is a doorknob, not exactly sure. But anyway, like I say, you can just play and get creative with this. And this is the part where I'm gonna have my husband help me because, yeah, it's just gonna be a lot easier and a lot quicker. So like I said, back in 2020, I couldn't find really a provider, local or online, where to purchase a couple of these. And the ones that I did find were just extremely expensive, for me anyways. But this year, 4 years later, I did find somebody on Amazon. Actually, there were a couple, but this one looked like the best deal for what they offer. And it's not that I need one, but I just wanted to order one and see what kind of product I get. So you and I are going to be doing this for the first time. And it is heavy. This piece is heavy. Nope. Okay, so this is one that I found. Oh, okay. Okay, it's not bad. It's metal. It's heavy. It's definitely way heavier than the other one that I got. But here's the thing. This was $58 on Amazon. Like I said, 4 years ago when I first made those guys, the only ones that I could find were about $400 or $500 for something smaller than this. And I was not about to spend $400 on one of them, and I needed 2. So 4 years later, $58. What do you think? Is it worth it? The thing about this is that you can flatten these guys for storage. So they take minimal space if you want to save them after you're done for the winter. The ones that I made, the ones that you made, you cannot really flatten them in a way that you can at these. So if you have 3, 4, 5 of these guys, they're gonna have to take space in the garage. And that's why my husband hated them, because they were just in the way. Honestly, these were really very inexpensive to make. They don't take a lot of time. They take a little bit of prep. But I mean, $58, if you don't have the time and you only need a couple, I mean, you need to decide which one works best, right? I wonder if you can loosen these up because these are really hard to open. So there you have it. I mean, they look very similar, and I don't know, $58 doesn't look that bad. But if you needed, you know, a bunch of these guys, you could easily make them in an evening with a little bit of help. So I will let you decide. Hopefully this video helped you in any way. Let me know if you have any questions. I am not going to spray paint the top, this guy right here, because I just kind of like how it adds a little bit of the gold there on the top. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you on the next time.